Good Thursday morning to the Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich. This is your outlook for March 20th, 2014, and today is the official first day of spring as far as the calendar is concerned, but if you've read our spring outlook, we are not really expecting spring to return to start in this area here until about April 15th, so we're delaying it about 3 to 4 weeks before we see the sustained warmth that you would expect for a normal spring. Until then, it's going to be much below normal temperatures, with the exception of the next couple days. We're going to have a nice couple days here going forward here until we get to Saturday. So we're looking at Thursday, Friday looking okay. Saturday is going to be the day that we have a chance of precipitation again with a cold front moving through. This is showing Thursday afternoon here at 2 p.m. And the system that just passed through the cold front is now well offshore, sitting over here. That is what was responsible for the precipitation that occurred yesterday. So I'm going to move this a little bit forward here, and we're going to have high pressure building into our south. Every time you have high pressure to the south here, you're going to have a change in the wind flow, and that wind flow, as this high pressure moves offshore, not quite a Bermuda high here, but with the high is actually sitting just down to this point right here. So within this position, the rotation around it is being clockwise. You're going to have temperatures, I didn't draw that very well, you're going to have temperatures that are going to increase because of the position of the high pressure. So we're going to have that happen both Friday and Saturday. Here's Friday afternoon, same deal, nice mild day here. And then as we get to Saturday here, we have another system that's going to move up into the Great Lakes here. May have a warm front that could touch off a shower Friday night, and then also again on Saturday. Now this one will not have as much moisture with it than the last one. The system is not as strong. It's only 1,006 millibars, so the cold front that's associated with it will not have as much precipitation with it. Here's the GFS showing that. This is not really impressed with any precipitation on Saturday, but there could be a few showers or a passing shower and remaining mostly cloudy on Saturday in association with this cold front. I do think you're going to see some sun at least on Saturday, but as this cold front moves through, it's probably going to be more clouds than sun, and then you have a chance for the shower or two popping up across the area. And then beyond this system here, we have a system that's going to move to our south here. This system on the GFS, we're going to have to watch this because our southern areas might be clipped here after the cold front goes through here. Now the GFS is showing here this is snow, but you see the 35 degree line is actually all the way up here, so this would not be snow. This is actually would be rain if this did occur here. I'm not sure what the GFS is doing with showing it snow here, but that system would just aimlessly go off the coast here. But you see it does show our southern areas getting into some of that action here, but it's going to be too cold or too warm, we think, for any snowfall with that system. And that would be Sunday late afternoon and Sunday night. Now it is going to be colder on Sunday after that cold front comes through on Saturday, and then as we get into next week, we're going to be really cold relative to this time of year. Now it's not going to be, we're not talking about highs in the teens here. We're talking about relative to this time of year, temperatures being 20 to 25 degrees below normal for this time of year, and for a good chunk of next week we're expecting. So that translates to high temperatures somewhere around 30-35 degrees over most areas for the majority of the upcoming week here. Now every time you have a situation where you have colder air mixing in here, you do have the chances of snow and wintry precipitation that still lingers because of the fact that you have the colder temperatures in place. So anything that comes in as far as weather systems will have to be watched for winter precipitation. The next one we're watching here is actually in the Tuesday to Wednesday time frame. Here's the 18Z GFS that we're using here, and you have two different systems here. A northern stream system that's over here and it's sitting over the Ohio Valley at this point, kind of like an elongated low here, but we'll just say for argument's sake the low pressure is right here. Another one moving in from the south here. Now the GFS is very close to phasing this system here, and if it does phase it, we could have a pretty good snowstorm, and we talked about this in the video yesterday, a very good snowstorm up in this area here, but the GFS does not quite do it. The European model does to some degree also, but here's our two systems here. One sitting over here just south of Pittsburgh, another one sitting here offshore, and then you'll see these two kind of come together here in the subsequent frames here as I'm going to show you the two merging together. But you see what it does? It does drop snow across our area, and this is mostly a northern stream system because this system is well offshore and it's too far offshore to really affect anything in our coverage area here. So this phase occurs earlier we could have a big snowstorm in this area to deal with in the Tuesday to Wednesday time frame of next week. And we're going to go over to the 500 millibar chart. Now, this is looking up at the atmosphere at 18,000 feet, or approximately 18,000 feet. Now, I'm going to explain this to you because I don't want to lose you here. This is actually a lot simpler than it looks. You have a southern stream here. This is their southern jet stream sitting like this. This is your northern stream, and it's sitting here just like this. Okay. Now you see they're separate. They're two separate entities. This is called a split flow pattern, and where you have a northern stream kind of running by itself up here, southern stream running by itself down here. I'm going to take this a little bit forward. This is actually looking at Saturday morning, and I'm going to take this forward in time here, and I'm going to stop this at Monday morning. Okay, now one of the things we're noticing here, this is what is going to be the ingredients for a storm coming up here. The ridge out west is going to be a very important player. This is kind of like those bell curves used to do in back in school here. What goes up must come down. It's kind of like a roller coaster ride. So if you have the more amplification if you have the ridge out here in the west, which is what's shown here, the digger this trough will dip in the east, kind of like this. And what amplification is important for is it allows that split flow that I showed you, with one being north and one being south. It allows these to merge or come together, or phase. You'll hear that term phase a lot that we use. Depending on the speed of these two streams and depending on this ridge will determine a lot of what's going to happen with this storm on Tuesday and Wednesday. If it is more amplified, there's a better chance that these two streams will phase, and you could have a big storm along the coast here. If they stay separate and you remain, the southern stream remains progressive. This was Steve DiMartino's argument, and this is, of course, he is our northern New Jersey forecaster. He believes that these are going to stay separate, and that's because the southern stream is just too progressive and too fast, in his opinion. We're still entertaining the idea that this could still happen here. And that's because there's a lot of ensemble support, a lot of teleconnection support for something like that to happen. So we're definitely not writing it off. And I don't really think he is either. I think he's just sharing his ideas that these two streams might stay separate, and that's just his belief here. We do have these two streams do come together, and again, that's because on the GFS anyway, and that's because the ridge is out here like this, and here's your trough in the east as a result. So what goes up must come down, like a roller coaster. And then you get a really wrapped up storm here up in this area here, at least at 500 millibars. What I just showed you on the previous image here, going back to the surface map here, this kind of doesn't match what the 500 millibar chart shows. You should have a system that's a little bit closer to the coast here, phasing earlier according to the 500 millibar chart, but it does phase a little bit too late. But if this phased early, it is. I don't care if the sun angle is higher. I don't care about climatology. If the storm is, in the right position, the right strength, and the timing is correct, you can get snow in this area for this time of year. So it doesn't really make a difference. Dynamics will play a role, and dynamics will supersede climatology and will supersede the sun angle being higher at this time of year. So it's something we're going to be watching over the next week or so. The system is still 6 to 7 days away, and a lot of changes are going to be incoming over the next couple of days. I cannot show you the European model, but the European model is something similar to the GFS, except it brings it a little bit closer here like this. Of course, the European ensembles went a little bit further east today and are out this way, kind of pretty close to where the GFS had it. So models and the ensembles might not be picking up the pattern correctly, and if they aren't, we could get a snowstorm. And if the southern stream remains progressive, like Steve DiMartino has pointed out, then it would be a complete miss, and this thing will just shut off out to sea to our south. So a lot of possibilities. You see the time frame here. We're talking about 156 hours in the future. That's a long time for things to change. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich. That is your outlook for March 20th, 2014. Have a great Thursday.